Can you just first your recap your thoughts of St. Cloud?
Any road win's a good win. Any road sweep's a great sweep. It's nice to see our special teams start to, win us games and put us in positions and to win games 2 weekends in a row. So it's good. We're happy with the way that's trending.
What do you feel like is finally clicking there for the special teams?
There's confidence, and swagger, and I think we put that kind of old veteran unit together, and then we have more of a younger unit with a lot. I think it's best hockey as a unit is ahead, but they got a goal for us each on that 5 minute to start, and then the old one went back out and almost got 2 more, and we got 1 more. So it's just chemistry and confidence and embracing the opportunity to win us games.
How much do you think the power play benefited from playing on a bigger ice? Like, how were you guys able to utilize that much space?
I mean, I think overall, like it's always hard to adjust that much space. That it was like playing on an ocean. It literally felt like we were playing on an ocean. But I think for the most part, with the way our team's built, with so much team speed and skill and depth of skill, it benefited us. I mean, the shot count was a little bit, I think, deceiving because our goal was not shot volume from the perimeter because it's so big. Our goal was possession and quality shots and quality chances, and I think we did that.
What did you think of Gibby's game? You gave him on both games.
Yeah, it was just he's hot right now, and it was just a gut feeling. I think I probably went up there with the intention to split because that's been working for us as well. And Pat played really well against North Dakota. But Gibby, it was just a gut feeling. I think it was more, he got Friday, he was good. We won. It's hard to play goaltender on big ice. The angles are different. Laterally, it's just so much different than playing on a regulation sheet. So just figured go back with him. He got a game on it, and then we come back here and reset.
Coach, what's your first impression of Colorado?
Really good, big, deep, play hard, they forecheck you. Just a really good team. They swept us up there, and so we know how good they are.
What do you think has changed since that last series against Colorado?
Well, for us, it's health. It's clearly health. They didn't have their best player either, right? So they're going to be more loaded up than they were when we played them. But we were missing, Bennett Shimmick, Lucas Sillinger, Cruz Lucius, Charlie Shane. We were missing a lot of guys. Artem Shlaine wasn't in full game shape yet when we played up there. So, we're a much different team now than we were, obviously, when we played them up there. But they're going to come in here hungry, and there's a lot at stake this weekend.
Coach, what do you think of the job Kyle Smolen did this weekend on the first line?
He's awesome. Smoley's the ultimate, Swiss Army knife. You can play him down the middle, you can play him on the wing. He kills penalties. He's good in the power play. He's got hard skill. He can make plays. He forechecks. He does everything. He's a coach's dream in every way.
Going on with Smolen, he's made his way up the lineup throughout the year. How much growth have you seen him accomplish this year?
I mean, tons. He he's a guy I trust in every situation. That's why he plays in every situation. And he just makes everybody around him better. There's not a guy on our team that doesn't want to play with him because he goes and gets in the puck and he can make plays. So, he'll do anything you ask of him. Yeah, he's the ultimate team first guy, and that's why I think he's had so much success.
Coach, you mentioned closing out games is something you guys have to work on. And Saturday, close to that 4-1, playing 4-4. Is that a good experience for you guys to figure out a way to win?
Yeah, I mean, we had 2 empty net goals in the weekend to close it out. We knew they were coming. I think the goals were, the third one was a really weird fluke bounce. It wasn't anything that we did, wrong, I don't think, per se. And the second one was probably one that Gibby would want back. So it's a combination of so many things. But at the end of the day, we got it done. We came back here with 6 points.
Can we get an injury report from you? We see RA's back out there with
Today was the first day all season we've had every rostered player practice. It was the very first day.
Do you expect to have everyone healthy come Friday?
We do. We expect that. As of right now, if I had to guess, yeah, we would have everybody available. Yeah.
Coach, 5 of your top 6 are transfers and new to the program.
Yeah.
What does that say about your culture that they can come together, even though they have so much skill and play together so well?
Says a lot about it. I mean, we work in the off season and in preseason. Pretty much, my 99% of my focus is culture based, and bringing guys up to speed on what the expectations and the standards are in our program, both on and off the ice, especially off the ice. And I think it speaks volumes to, most importantly, the veterans that returned. Because I thought last year's team, what was special about last year's team was they really reinstilled what our core values are, and really held each other to that standard every day, which is why we won 24 games. And the guys that returned from that team did an unbelievable job transitioning into leaders and making sure that all the new guys understood what it was going to take and what we expect. And, obviously we didn't have the start we wanted results-wise, but that's why we're in the position we're in, because the culture was good and nobody faltered, and we just stuck with it.
Now that you're nearing 100%, what are some of the holes that you're trying to fill inside of the lineup?
We don't feel like we have any.
You guys are first, have sole possession of first place in the NCHC. You're ranked 8th in preseason. What was your, initial reaction when you first saw that?
It didn't surprise me, right? We've been a program that people have counted out from day one, and I think most people in college hockey and whatever probably didn't think 10 years later I'd still be standing here. They probably gave me a two-year max over under, so to speak. So we don't really give a shit what other people think. It's just a fact. We care about what's going on in our room, and our inner belief is all that matters. And I think the one thing that I've learned personally throughout our process of building our program is it's a heavy bag to always focus on proving everybody wrong that doesn't believe in you. You got to focus on the people that do believe in you and proving them right. That's much more rewarding at the end of the day. And hopefully when we're in the Frozen Four sometime soon, hopefully this year or in the next couple of years, it's going to be about proving all the people right that believed in us along the way and believe that we could build an elite program at Arizona State.
Coach, what do you say about your coaching staff along with the addition of Mike Corbett? What has he brought, and how does everything kind of gel this year?
Corbs just brings a level of calmness and kind of expertise in every area. He just kind of floats, He sits in on power play meetings. He sits on PK meetings. He helps run the D when Dana's gone. He helps recruit. He does everything. He's our Kyle Smolen on the coaching staff.
Last few.
Maybe beating kind of a dead horse. We've talked about it so much. Face-offs, you were 20 for 59 Friday, and much better Saturday. What did you see that change?
Just all 5 guys competing. It's not just the centers, it's wingers winning their pockets and just trying to get a possession. We're a possession team, and more times than not, we have more possession and better possession than the numbers in the other team, and that's with not being great on face-offs all season. So it's going to be an area of focus moving forward. It's probably right now our biggest area of improvement that we need to make.
This year has really kind of shown out how important possession's been. You guys have one possession battle basically almost every single game this year. Is that something that you guys really instilled this offseason, or was it something you instilled? Yeah,
it's how we're built. We're built with a lot of skill, a lot of depth. We have, now 4 lines that can flat out play. So we want the puck. We're better when we have the puck, obviously, and so it's not always about shot volume. We're never gonna, say any shot's a bad shot, but we got to have traffic. We got to have guys at the net if we're gonna fire the puck, and that's what I think has changed most. Is because we're scoring a lot right now, and we're getting guys in the net. So it's old school, simple. Just get pucks and bodies in the net, but you got to have bodies, not just pucks.
You guys tied your second highest ranking in program history this week. What about this roster makes it so special compared to other ones you've had in the past?
Yeah, I think this is the most talented roster we've ever had. So, that's the expectation. I think what's special about these guys is they truly have really bought into what our mantra is, which is be the tradition, and setting a standard here for everybody to follow behind them. They have a chance to do it. We're in our first year in our league. We're sitting in first place, late January. They could write a pretty good story if they finish this thing the way that I know that they're going to.
Last one.
When you were goaltending this week, you mentioned the week for both last week. Are you coming into it as a split, or what do you think?
The expectation probably is a split. I don't think Kyle deserves to sit 4 games in a row. They're both kicking. They're proven they can win big games. Gibby's playing really well right now. And again, it was just a gut feeling Saturday because of the ice situation and how he was playing. I went in probably expecting a split, but it was the right call. You know, I don't think there's really one, maybe the only game all season I regret making the decision in net that I did was probably not splitting Michigan. But other than that, they've, like I said, sometimes they prove me right. You know, I like it when they do.
The COVID year where you played all road games. So how does it feel to be in a conference, have an arena, and be in the running for a conference championship?
It's sort of a dream come true, to be honest with you. Like, that's when I committed here and first came in, like that was the ultimate goal, you know. And now in my last season, it's like we've made it there. So it's a real full circle now. It feels good.
Is it challenging at times to kind of stick with the vision?
I mean, yeah, we had some like rougher seasons and stuff. I wouldn't say it's challenging to stick to the vision. It was one of those things where it's like, you know it's coming. You just gotta be patient with it, and the patience paid off big time. So,
Where does this team kind of rank on the 5 teams that you've been on?
in terms of talent and I think impact on the ice, this is the top one. We've got enough talent to win anything, and we've got really good systems and everything's structured really well. So, yeah, I'm definitely as optimistic as I've ever been.
You guys had a lot of transfers come in. It seems like you guys are gelling right now. Like, how was that transition? Guys come in, you guys gelling as a team to play well.
Yeah, it's something we've been dealing with the last few years now since the 1-year transfer rule came into effect. So, sort of routine at this point. It's just new teammates every year. Like, you get to know them, you welcome them in with open arms, and it's good.
Last year compared to this year, you know, program record of wins is what looked like one of the best teams I think I've seen covering, and now this year that level has elevated. What was that, I don't know, aspect that elevated from last year to this year? The guys that were brought in, you think, or just?
We had a crazy talented team last year as well. I think one of the things that's really helped us elevate our game is that we're playing a really tough schedule. So like we have to rise to the occasion every week. There's no off weekends and stuff. So yeah, that challenge is kind of bringing the best out of us every week.
When there's players going in and out of the lineup, whether it's injury or whatever, how is it as a player to kind of adapt to new line games pretty much every week?
It's honestly, it's pretty easy. The way we play is real structured, and everyone's on the same page about what we do. So you know every guy in that lineup's talented and can do their job. So you just kind of trust them like you trust anybody else and keep moving forward.
You played with Kyle a lot, not only 5-on-5 but also on the PK. What has been your impression of him over the last 2 years and how he's grown as a player?
I mean, that he's as disciplined and as focused as like anybody on the team, and he's got a lot of talent to match it. So yeah, the sky's the limit for him. He's got all the intangibles to do anything you want. You talk about trusting your teammates, like that's the guy you trust with anything.
What do you guys expect out of CC this week?
Expect a tough game. They're a skilled team. They played really hard. We saw them earlier in the year, obviously. It's going to be a battle, but we're ready for it.
What can you take out of that earlier meeting this week?
I mean, I thought that weekend we didn't play our best. It wasn't our fully fledged form that I think we're kind of coming into now, and so sort of the confidence to know that we didn't get the results that we wanted, but we were playing with them when we weren't at our 100%. So it's only better now.
To close the game, a thing that you guys have struggled with a little bit this year.
I think it was a big emphasis definitely the whole week, especially after the Saturday's loss to North Dakota, and we had a couple of moments against Air Force, and then there's one more against CC actually. So we definitely focused on it, and it was good to get the job done. Maybe some structural changes, and overall good team effort on that 5-on-6 both games.
What were some of those changes? Because I know you guys have kind of switched around personnel and made a few changes, but now it seems like it's finally gel.
I think we're just now like in sync. We know like what we're doing as a unit instead of individually, and that was the biggest change. Maybe a little bit more aggressive as well, but just mentality change, mostly.
Since conference play started, you've really taken off, scoring goals left and right. I mean, what was the difference maker for you in terms of like adjustments that you made?
I think just kind of when I came back from injury, the first 2 games at Northern wasn't like fully healthy, and then the first 2 games at CC, they were tough for me a little bit, like getting in shape and stuff, especially with the altitude. And then it kind of got easier. and I've been playing with good line mates, you know, and I've been put in and been given a good opportunity. So just consistency. I feel like consistency is the biggest thing with me individually and with our team. Like we do consistent stuff the whole week, throughout the week to week. So that's kind of what drives, I think, our success right now.
Coach mentioned a lot about the transfers gelling, the 5 of your top 6 forwards, including your transfers, are new to the program. What are some of the things that he did or kind of instilled to you about the culture and just with your teammates?
I think in the summer, we've had Zoom meetings that definitely bring you closer. And the biggest thing, it's funny you asked that because I was just talking to some of the guys from Northern about it. When you win, your team gets closer because you get to enjoy yourselves more. You get more days off because you're winning, so you get to hang out more, and that kind of drives guys together. It's also just the relationships outside of hockey. We try to go places, and when we have free time, especially the transfers, because you've seen so much, and all the other guys, they've been on different teams, so just your experience blends in, you find commonality, and then that's, I think, why we're together and we're a tight group.
Can you elaborate? You said you did Zoom meetings this summer. Was that just coaches, or was it what were those Zoom meetings?
Yeah, it's with coaches, and kind of they got to introduce us to the program and introduce the culture, I guess, their cultural aspects of the program, and we got to talk between ourselves as transfers as well. And those coach had us for dinner before the season with the freshmen and transfers, so that was nice. But overall, you get closer as a team as the year goes on. So I think, and now we're kind of in the deep run of conference play. We're battling, we're in the number 1 spot. We're battling for home ice. We're battling for the regular season title. And at the end of the games, the closer that your team is, the better you are one way.
When you were in the portal, what kind of made you gravitate towards ASU as a place you wanted to learn?
I think for me, just like I said, it's not about bright and shiny, and they say that, and ASU kind of looks bright and shiny from the outside. But for me, it's always the coaches, it's always the guys in the locker room, it's always the opportunity that I see myself, how I see myself in the team, how the coach sees me as a player, the trust. I've talked to some guys who've been at ASU before and asked them how it is. Obviously, the weather helps a lot, just mentally after Northern Michigan, it helps a lot for sure. And I kind of realized that as the year goes on. I thought, it wouldn't matter as much, the warm weather and stuff. It's not gonna add much to me. But every morning you wake up and you're happy to go to the rink, and you're happy to be outside after practice. Right now we have the whole day, it's sunny out. Why not? When we just came from St. Cloud, it's dash 10 there right now. So
You've been on the line with Kyle Smolen quite a bit throughout this year, and now you guys have moved off the line. But what growth have you seen him take over this year?
We actually played against ASU last year when I was at Northern. He was a freshman, and he was ready. He was, I think, a third, fourth line center. He was driving play, taking key draws. It speaks volumes to his character, speaks volumes to who he is as a person and as a hockey player. I love playing with him because the thing is, he's also a center, so you have to have that mentality. Defense drives offense, right? The more you have the puck, the less time you're going to spend in your D zone. So I think we try to puck possess as a line, and he's really good. He's always F1 on the forecheck. He doesn't let anyone else get in there. That's his spot. No, but I've been enjoying playing with him, and I hope it continues.
Coach said this is the first time that you've had everybody back healthy and ready to go. How does that feel as a team? I know you guys are very close, but now you have everyone ready to go and play.
Well, just like I said, I think it was Friday after North Dakota. People haven't seen us play yet when we're fully healthy, and I think we've been on this kind of run streak of getting points. I know we lost to North Dakota in overtime, but still got points out of that, which is nice. Now everyone's healthy, so be aware.
You mentioned that run going back after the Denver series, you guys swept them. Powers said that this should be the standard, not just a one-off thing. How much have you seen you guys take ownership into that?
I think just through kind of like college experience, you know, when you're not thinking about, oh my God, like we're playing North Dakota or like Colorado College, or whenever we just swept Denver, like it wasn't a thing, oh my God, we're playing Denver, let's get a point or let's get a one win and we'll be happy. It was just like practice the whole week, like watch some video on what they do, but we keep doing our thing, and that's how we build, that's how we get better. And then going from that weekend, I think like our mentality shifted a little bit, and I've seen that my junior year at Northern. We went on a run. We were like probably in 6th, 7th place out of 8 going into like February, and then we went like I think 8 games in a row to finish regular season, and then the playoffs went to the championship game. And like this reminds me of similar mentality where guys don't think, oh, who we're playing. It's just like doing our thing, thinking about the process instead of results. Like St. Cloud, I don't think we've played that great 5-on-5 play against St. Cloud, but we got the win. So the result's good, but the process, you got to go back and see what we did wrong and correct that.
What do you think you could have been better 5-on-5?
I think that they were a really good neutral zone team, so that kind of forced us to dump pucks with our forwards not having a lot of speed, so we couldn't get the forecheck. But the other thing is, it usually works on the NHL sheet, because when you like rim a puck around, it comes fast, and even if you don't have speed as a forward, you can still get to it on the half wall. But there was Olympic sheet, so when you rim it around, half the times goalie stopped it because it was slower, and half the times it just died kind of in the corner, so their D could get the retrieval first. So we didn't get a lot of forechecking as we would on an NHL sheet against other teams we played, so I think that was the biggest thing for us. But credit to them too, playing good defense and kind of forcing us to dump pucks and not letting controlled entries.
How were you guys able to turn the tide on the face-off circle on Saturday and Good Friday?
It's funny because I think every time in college it's like Friday one team is going to have an advantage, and then coaches are going to come in and kind of give you some pointers, and Saturday you'd come out and the other team would have it. And same thing with like individually, like one guy would be successful on the dot on Friday, and then you'd watch, you know, whatever stats, video, and you'd see this guy and you kind of get a detailed look on it, and then Saturday you come out and you beat that guy up on the draw. So that's kind of what I've seen. It's tough to be successful throughout the weekend, especially NCHC, a lot of good centers, and especially a lot of good wingers too, who get all the retrievals, all the loose pucks off face-off. So just prepare for the weekend, prepare for a battle against every center, and then see how it goes, make adjustments.
You've had a pretty good stretch these past few weeks, and you mentioned the coaching staff when you transferred, kind of what they saw in you as a player. What about this program, the coaching and systems, is different from past teams you played on? How has that, I guess, allowed you to unlock the level of your game?
Definitely starts with practice. Every team I've been on practiced a little bit differently, and you can just see why they practice different. Like here, we definitely have like the most skilled team I've ever been on. And we practice, like a lot of drills are up and down the ice, making plays, so you can see how it translates to the games. And like you talk to other guys on other teams that you're friends with, and they're like, oh yeah, like you guys are run and gun, and they think it's all like skilled hockey, but at the end you got to make hard plays too. So I think the biggest change for me coming here was practices are really fast paced, and I wouldn't say short, but like kind of condensed. It's like quick, get on, do your drills, get off, you know. And then if you have extra stuff, like extra power play stuff, PK stuff, forward skills, D skills, like that's kind of around the practice time, not inside team practice.
You mentioned in the portal that you talked with some former ASU players before you came here. Who were some of those guys that you were close with that gave you the stamp of approval to come here?
Well, I talked with Tucker Ness because he's from a Minnesota guy too. We kind of crossed paths a little bit. Charlie Shane, he's actually a friend of my best friend from Northern Michigan. So we got to hang out in the same group, and I kind of asked some questions as well. So yeah, those two guys for sure. And then it was also interesting because Ryan Kerwin, he committed to ASU as well, and we kind of committed at the same time. And we didn't know, we didn't talk before, but we were friends before because we played on the Holinka team when we were 18. So it was fun to it's always good to know some guys when you come to a new team, for sure.
Coach calls you a Swiss Army knife. He did so last year, he did so this year. What about how you approach the game of hockey allows you to be called that and what you bring to the table?
I don't know. I think, as you go through the ranks as a player, you're going to have to do things you're not used to and you're not comfortable with. I think the best attribute as an athlete is being versatile. If you can play anywhere and do anything and do anything you're asked of you, I think that's the best characteristic of any player. If you're stapled to one thing, one job, I don't think you're very flexible. And coaches look for versatility in players. If you can do multiple things really well at a high level, I think you have the best chance of making it somewhere. So I just say, as a young kid, just being versatile and being flexible to do anything, play any position, anytime.
Was that something that you always did, or was there kind of a moment in your career that you had to kind of switch to that mentality?
I'd just say, it comes a point where if you want to make it, you're willing to do anything. There was doubt that in myself, I wasn't the highest end prospect, and I knew going into it in the junior hockey that I was going to have to be flexible no matter what. And my dad kind of reassured me, if you can play anywhere, coaches are going to want you. If you can do anything, coaches are going to want you. If you could play penalty kill, if you can play power play, if you could play any situation, that's the best attribute you can have as a player. So I would just say, growing up, I had to figure it out, and I'm fortunate enough that it's starting to finally pay off. So.
You've been moving up the lineup all year. How is, depending on what line you're playing in your lineups, how does that change your kind of mentality going into the game, and how has it benefited your game?
I would say it doesn't affect me at all, really. I mean, my game is predicated on doing what I do best, and I think that's what makes me able to be versatile. If you have someone that works hard and is willing to do the hard things and go to the dirty areas and be responsible, you could play with anyone. You could play with skilled players that allows them to make the plays and take risks, but then you're there to help cover it and be responsible and back check and turn pucks over for them. I don't think I have to change my game to play with anyone. If anything, I just keep playing my game to play with anyone.
How have you seen your skill develop over the years? What do you feel like has there been a big change in your skill from when you first came here to now?
Your skills are always developing. As a player, you're going through the ranks of junior, then college. There's little things you can obviously tweak. Your hands, your shot, this and that. But that's always going to get better. But the things that don't always change is what gives you the success in the first place. That's your work ethic and what you're willing to do. So I do think being in college, you make plays quicker. You see the ice, better, and playing with better players is going to make you better. So being able to play with, like last year playing with Benji and those are two really high-end old guys that I can learn from. And then this year, kind of playing up and down the lineup with all sorts of guys, learning from them and seeing what it's like playing on some of the top lines. You're just always learning. You're always a student of the game, always learning new stuff. And I just think being able to play with different players gives you the opportunity to get better in general.
Kyle, last year you guys were so good 5-on-6 closing out games. This year you've seen a little bit of struggles. How do you guys get back to what worked last year and it worked out Saturday? Where do you think you are right now in that aspect?
I think we struggled prior, earlier in the season. I think we're at a turning point where we need to decide how bad we want to win these games, because there's going to be a time when we're in a really, really important game. Not that these games aren't important, every game matters, but there are going to be playoff games we're going to be in that we have to win with minute left, 30 seconds left, and we just have to end games ourselves. And I think we have the mentality. It's just a matter of executing that mentality that we have. We can change all the structure and all the stuff that we want. At the end of the day, it comes down to how bad we want to end it. And I think we do have a group of guys that want to end games and win games badly. It's just a matter of going out and doing it. It's going to take a minute to figure out how our strategy is going to play into our mentality, and we're figuring that out as it goes. But at the end of the day, we just got to want it, and we got to earn it. And I think they scored a 5-on-6, one goal. It was kind of a bad bounce, whatever, tough goal, but. What most people don't see is that, the second time when they had 5-on-6 that we closed it out and we scored the empty netter. That's the objective, is to finish the game, score the empty net, and finish the game. Yeah, we let one in, but they pulled the goalie with 6 minutes left in the game. There's got to be some level of room for error. So I think we're growing, we're learning from it, and I think we're going to be successful with that eventually.
You mentioned players around you and your own personal work ethic leading towards your development. How big has the staff been here at ASU?
I mean, I don't think I could succeed the way I've succeeded without them. Their trust in me as a player and my ability, and the amount of leash and opportunity they've given me, I don't think I could get that anywhere else in college hockey. A player like me, it takes a little bit of time to develop and get, the skill level that I've attained at this point. And I've made mistakes. I haven't been my best at some points, but instead of burying me or not giving me another chance or putting me in the stands, they've trusted that I was going to get it done, and they put me out there for the next situation without batting an eye. So without them, I don't think I'd be the player I am today at all.
We talked to Benji, and he told us that he's never seen someone as fixated on the routines during practice as you. So I'm curious where that came from, and was that always the case for you?
I've been on a lot of old teams. I've been on quite a few winning teams, and the common theme is detail, execution, and effort. Those are the three things that have always, in everything you do, weight room, practice, games, everything, film. If you're detailed and you execute at a high level, you're going to perform really well. And I think it starts in practice, and it doesn't matter who it is. It's got to be everybody, and it's got to be everybody bought into the same identity. And when you're out there in practice, it starts there. I heard Schlaine say it starts in practice. It always does. Everything bleeds into the game. It does. So it's just a mentality, really. So
Already said that the F1 on the forecheck's your spot. You don't let anyone else get there. Has that always been the case? And what makes you so successful as an F1?
yeah, I love hitting guys. No, it's like I said, it's a mentality thing, and it's about being unselfish. If you're willing to go in and hit someone and create a disruption, your line mates are gonna have success. My prime example is that goal we had the other night where puck rimmed down. You're gonna get hit. Someone's gonna hit you, but are you willing to take that hit for your line mates to have success? That's kind of the mentality that our team has in general. Is willing to sacrifice ourselves for the betterment of the team. And that's kind of something I've learned throughout junior. All the coaches always say it. What are you willing to do? Not what you're capable, or what are you willing to do for the team? And honestly, it's just you're willing to do anything. Otherwise, I don't think you belong here. And we don't have anyone that's not like that here. Everyone's willing to do it for the team. So,
Kyle, you were a freshman last year, and now on the D end, you have a couple of new freshmen. How has it been kind of teaching them the rigors of college hockey and how to play your days?
Yeah, we have a really old team, and they're all unbelievable players and unbelievable people. And like I said, we don't bring anybody here that doesn't fit the mentality that we have here. And all the freshmen have an unbelievable mentality, are hard workers, and they care nothing about anything other than the logo. And it's been awesome to see them grow and kind of feel it out and see what college hockey is all about. Because I remember when I was, I'm gonna be honest, I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect. It's going to be faster. It's going to be harder. And just seeing them grow, it's been awesome. They've handled it so well. They've handled it like men, and I'm excited to see where they go from here.
Shlaine was talking about some of the reasons why he came to ASU. What were some of the reasons that you decided to join the Sun?
I don't even know. It might have been 14 when I had my first conversation with Greg. And right away, this is a spot I've always wanted to be in. Before they even had a Division I program, I vacationed here since I was 6-7 years old. So coming down here, seeing what the kind of people are like down here, and then meeting Greg, and then meeting Hicksy, meeting the staff in general, seeing what they're all about, and seeing the vision that they wanted to do and where they wanted to take the program, I was like, nowhere else I want to be. I wanted to be a part of this program, no one else, and there was always some level of concern when I'm going through 4 years of juniors and wondering if I'm ever going to make it here. But he put all his trust in me, and I put all my trust in him, and it's paid off. We have an unbelievable program, so and it's only going up from here, and we have an unbelievable hockey team. And like I said before, he's given me every opportunity I could possibly ask for.
What are some of the messages you have to players who might consider coming to ASU in the next few years?
Don't read in between the lines. Listen to what he's saying, because what he's saying is the truth. It's reality. If you want someone that's a true competitor, if you want to be a part of a program that's full of true competitors, and you want to be a part of a winning culture, well, here's your answer. It's right here. There's nowhere else to go.
Kyle, what has Coach Mike Corbett brought to the team and the whole organization this year?
It's really helpful, especially for guys like me. I want to know what I'm doing. I want you to be up front with me. I want you to tell me what I'm doing. And he's a guy that'll pull you aside. He won't rip you in front of your teammates, which is nice sometimes because you get that enough. from Bowie, but he pulls you aside and he's like, just little things like this. This puck needs to get out. This has to happen here. It's great here, but you could be better in this area. He's really helped with our sticks in the D zone. He's really helped us defend better, honestly, and he's brought a lot to the table with boosting our confidence and helping us prepare for games better.